Well, as close as you can get would be good.
All right, come on down, video.
Pilot, looks like you need to turn to starboard and start heading down a bit.
Do I have to head down right now? Just in general. Yeah, come on in, video.
Okay.
Something behind it.
Yeah, there's something behind it.
Like the black coral we saw earlier, you know, it's the only colony that we see out here, and it leads to the question of whether it was here prior to the eruption or if it's a recruit from the last 2 years.
So, Scott, would you agree that it's a primnoid with this little bit closer view?
Hi, Chris. Still a little trouble seeing. I'm going to blow this up to a full screen and see if that helps. Certainly it's got the shape of a primnoid, but I was also thinking Pleurogorgia is another possibility. So I'm just trying to see if I can see, or I can ask you guys on the ship if you see any what appear to be scaly patterns on those polyps.
Scaly?
And maybe before he zooms out, could we get a picture of that white thing that's in the upper right?
Yeah.
It's slightly out of focus.
It looks like it might be a sponge. I don't know.
Nav, what's left in the move?
All right, let's get the guy in the background.
Oh, what is
Can
that?
you just let it finish out there?
The seaning-kind between those pairs of polyps, it looks a little bit scaly, so this would indeed be in the family Primnoidae.
Okay.
And Sacco also seemed to think that this was a primnoid.
Oh, this other thing on the right
It looks
might be some
tubular.
kind of an egg. No, he's talking about on the left,
No, I mean the thing on the right
thing on
looks
the right's
tubular.
Yeah.
I think I see an opening at the top.
Yeah.
I wonder if that was some form of an egg case
That's what Shirley said.
And it was
Yeah.
released. It's a very odd-looking structure.
Yeah,
You
it
bet.
is. Reminds you kind of a cocoon.
Yeah, very much so.
Okay.
So the resident has left, been born, and is out somewhere else.
I don't know.
That's just amazing.
Yeah, it is.
Wow.
Oh, set watch lead?
Yes, we are.
There's another one of those corals, right?
Very interesting texture to that structure back there. It almost looks woven.
Yeah, it does.
Come on in, video.
Roger, copy, Nav. Okay.
Do you have any more? See if we can get super close on this guy.
Oh, here we go. This looks like the same thing, same kind of coral.
Primnoid.
Yeah, I agree that this is the same coral as the one we saw just a moment or two ago.
Yeah. When you're ready, video.
And about the same size, looks like.
Coming around.
All right,
We're good.
going back.
So from your perspective on those big screens, does it look scaly?
Yes.
Great.
Here's another redfish. It's a big one. So it looks like what we're back in terms of the seafloor is more rubble on top of the columnar jointed magmatic intrusion.
Bruce, thanks for the information you put on the chat log about the fish.
Yes, you're welcome. We had a couple of possibilities. I'm suggesting Kamoharia as an identification, but whether it's Tascanapseta or Kamoharia, neither of those have been reported from the Marianas before. So that's certainly a new record of a fish genus for this area from the Okeanos Explorer expedition. So we've got another new discovery.
Wow. I know. We have lots of them. This is really incredible.
Just keeps coming. Now we're back into the massive basalt down the slope.
So I'm just following
I'm assuming
this
it's
down one
basalt.
slope.
Yeah, really kind of unusual pattern of jointing here, like fan-shaped almost.
Yeah, I agree, Bill. It's just, and it looks like it's converging downslope on the left and expanding downslope on the right.
Yeah, your Devil's Tower analogy doesn't look that far off now.
Boy, it's amazing. I would not have expected to see that sort of thing so close to the summit of one of these volcanoes.
Really, on the flank of the arc seamount?
Yeah,
Really unusual.
really is.
I'm kind of surprised there's no clastic material in sight here. It's just all massive lava.
Exactly.
Rock.
Yeah, it kind of blows you away.
Quite fun to hear you geologists over the last couple of days keep saying that I never expected to see this sort of thing here.
Boy, I'll say.
Just every day's been a surprise.
Now, what is that white thing sitting on the left at 4 o'clock, 3:30?
On the left or the right?
The other left. Darn! I keep mixing those up. Yeah, I wondered
That
if it
one.
were an anemone,
I don't know what you're looking at.
Yeah,
the white blob.
That's over on the left now?
Yeah, it's on the left
Yeah,
hand
no,
side.
that looks like it's just like a
just a stain.
Bacteria
come in.
again. I think it's just
Come in quick.
bacteria
Okay.
again.
Yep, you're right.
Okay.
Now, why would the bacteria pick just the center?
We had a little static there from the ship, but now it's better.
Oh, okay.
Come on in.
Yeah. That's more of the white mat that we've been seeing.
Yep, sure is.
Alright. Come on out. Temperature's going down as I descend.
Jeez.
I know. Look
This
at
just really blows me away. I'll tell you. Man.
you look at it, and those the two screens up, from the cameras down by the collection area.
Just keeps going down.
Wow.
I'm saying the same thing. Wow.
Oh, it's good to hear that, Bill. Then I don't feel so, totally out of my depth, as it were.
No, I've never seen. At Roto we saw really massive outcrops after the big landslide there, but nothing like this.
Yeah,
So Bill and Patty,
Let's get
how
this
old do
guy.
you think this bottom is
thing in the
here?
water.
Is this something that is newly exposed in the last 2 years? Or is
No,
it,
but
something much
You want to
older
keep
than
me
that?
in camera view here?
that would be hard to say for me.
The rock in the outcrop is almost certainly pretty old, just because it's
Yeah.
probably intrusive and then has been exposed by erosion and landsliding, so all that takes time. But its exposure could be recent. I'd have to see exactly where we are on a map, because we have a pretty good notion of where the landsliding occurred in 2014 because we had the symmetry before and after, so we can compare the two and see where material was removed and where it was deposited. So we could be on the edge of that area, but I'd have to look.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in the water coming out.
Okay, yeah, I was thinking about the exposure in relation to those two corals that we just saw on this material, and it would, it would help us bracket what is the possibility for growth if this was new exposure or old exposure.
Yeah, well, those corals we saw quite a bit up the slope. It was in a little bit different setting, so I think up there it wasn't so. I would think that could have been an older setting. And I'd have to kind of see where we were on the volcano to really know for sure.
It's focused from the vehicle, right?
Well, Bill, looking at the screen now,
vehicle,
it looks to me like we are looking at,
make sure.
The top of columnar joints
Almost
rather
Nav,
than
co-pilot.
the length
I'm going
of
to
them.
make a 10
And
meter
you
move
always see that
and
where
direction of 110.
whatever the igneous body is contacts the surrounding rock. And so I keep thinking that this represents some sort of a
Where?
dike intrusion in
kind of
the
top
side of
screen,
the edifice.
about the middle,
But it is just
the
so
left, there's
incredibly
something in the
massive.
Bridge
like
ROV
inside
now.
the rock.
It's unusual. I've never seen dikes
Go ahead.
this
That's
big
an octopus.
inside any of the calderas of these Mariana
0.0
volcanoes.
Oh, good spot.
Got a nice sort of, there's a fish. What kind of a fish?
Good copy, thank you.
Oh, there's some more of those white things on the rocks.
Yeah, more white things. So what is that fish, Bruce?
Bruce is gone.
Bruce is gone? Okay, Chris, what's the fish? Or anybody out
In the
there?
family of Okidiidae, it's a cuskeel.
Yeah.
I wondered that. Having been at sea with Jeff Drazen for a
Roger,
while,
copy.
I have seen a lot of cusk eels.
Are you trying to contact me?
Let's see. He's a shy Castillo.
No.
We'll get an establishing.
He's resting.
Yeah, Tina, you were asking
least
before. Sorry. Go ahead, Chris.
I think it is, but hopefully Bruce will get a better look at these pictures. It's hard to really get a good look at them, sort of nestled in there in a crack, but I think he'll agree. It's a little bit strange looking, so there's a possibility that it's a very squat conger eel, but I don't think so.
Is that enough imagery for an ID or?
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Oh, well.
Oh, there's another one.
A yellowfish.
Tina, you were asking before if we had made any collections, and we collected a rock that had some of those white organisms on it, and there was some discussion about whether they were barnacles or oysters or limpets. So we did collect a rock, and we'll have a sample. It was a biological sample, but we'll take a look at that.
This is a great geodive.
It's a great biodive too. I've never seen ctenophores like that.
Amazing.
We have no idea what those white things are on the rocks.
Right?
Saw some pretty cool fish.
Yes. And very nice rocks.
Quite a variety, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it looks like a little bit of hydrothermal.
So we have a
maybe
ship
just
move in?
where the
Or we
solid
could-
rock
We do.
is,
We're underway.
We're almost finished.
plastic rock.
Yeah,
I mean, it looks a little
Come
bit
in
yellow.
quick here.
it does. Yeah, we've seen that a lot.
Yeah,
I hope
pilot,
that-
you probably have all the time you want here. We're
Yeah.
just about stopped.
No, I was just wondering.
These rocks are so massive. I'm wondering if they, basically present an impermeable boundary, and so any warmth that's left over in the volcaniclastics would have to come out preferentially along that boundary.
What's that?
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Yeah,
Okay.
any kind of fluid flow might be coming up right along that boundary.
Yep. And we have an urchin, I think.
What is that?
We'll find out.
Nav co-pilot.
Whatever it is
Yeah, we want
about.
to make
with
that
an
same move
algae
again, another
hat.
10 meters.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Like what we,
A bit like yours, Patty, doesn't it?
Finish the previous one.
Yep.
yeah,
Roger.
this is exactly what we saw, earlier, where we were thinking that there's kind of like decorator urchins, where
Yeah.
they've got
He's got his
Algal,
spines
right,
stuck
algal
right
debris.
through that piece of
Yeah.
algae.
All
They're
kinds of
sticking
material.
out on the other side.
I'd like to do that last move again. 10 meters.
Sort of like an umbrella.
Patty, I take it back. Your hat was much better looking than this.
Oh. That's only because its tentacles weren't
Like,
extended.
Yeah.
Coming wide.
Yeah.
And a squat lobster. Little red.
Couple of 'em.
Yeah, there's.
Or was that a shrimp on the other
quite-
side?
I don't know.
shrimp.
Thank you, Bridge.
Wow, vertical walls.
If you want, you can swap those screens. Yeah, if you want. I mean, it's... Yeah. I mean, I would have it on there, but I can look over there. That's not a problem. Come on in on the school. What are these little guys?
Wow. Yep, it's more of those little blue fish.
Is it over there? I don't know.
That's labeled ROV pilot. Co-pilot, we're about halfway done with our move.
Gonna zoom partial.
Roger, nav copy.
If you could tilt. Oh, gosh.
No, I can't tilt down anymore. Alright.
Wow, lots of these guys.
No.
Alright, gonna zoom over just a touch.
I don't think it's one of mine. They're looking for the
Okay,
the
that's-
co-pilot's left screen KVM. Oh, they got it.
Nope. Okay.
As we're close in here,
That's
I'm
okay.
trying to
We're
see if
going
there's
back
any
the way it was
layering in
before.
these
That's
rocks,
fine.
but I really don't see it.
Right, come
There
on
sort
up.
of was a hint over there on the left, but
Yeah, we sorted out later.
it's just incredibly massive. Wow.
My sense is a lot of these Mariana seamounts are like this. It's kind of the summits are these big outcrops of really solid piece of rock, or maybe some of this lava flows. Then the flanks are sort of this apron of all the fragmental material that's been shed off of the summit and erupted out of the vent. And then right now we're kind of looking at the boundary between those two, with all the fragmental material off to the right and all the really solid, the core of the volcano and the summit up at the top.
Yep. Yeah, there's a good boundary here. I'm looking real carefully at this boundary to see if there's anything resembling clinker. I think you know where I'm going with that. A thick lava flow that just, breaks up on its surface, but maintains a solid interior.
Change it? Okay. Bridge, that'd be fine. You can change your heading 20 degrees to starboard. Great, thank you.
Yeah, come on in video.
And a little shrimp.
Okay, I'll make sure it is.
And a little fish.
Right, I'll pay attention.
Yeah, come on up.
Okay.
Well, we have about
Now,
35
co-pilot,
minutes
we
or
want ship
so
to
left.
make another move, 10
the
meters,
dive.
120 degrees.
Oh,
Sorry,
this is
co-pilot,
so
can
weird.
you repeat that?
On the
Yeah,
right
make
side
another
of the
ship
screen,
move,
we've got
another
columnar
10-meter
joints
jump,
that are oriented almost horizontal.
120 degrees.
And on the left side, they are vertical. There is some sort of a contact right here.
Bridge ROV nav. Put in
Interesting.
another move.
Yeah.
10 meters, 120 degrees, 0.1 knots.
I'm just wondering, Bill, how a giant mass of lava could, or magma, could change its orientation on a dime like this. The only way I can think is one dike
stand
crossing another.
Wait, okay. Okay,
Yeah,
got it. Bridge, we can wait until you're done with your heading change and move
Yeah,
after that.
I mean, there'd be two different intrusions feeding through. I have a hard time pitching dikes just because these things all look so
We're gonna-
fat.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Co-pilot, we're going to have to wait a minute on
I've
that.
never seen
The ship is
dikes
changing heading
as
right
thick
now.
as
Yeah,
this,
copy
like
on that.
in the interior of the Mog caldera.
What's the wind right now?
If you sail around inside there,
looks like
they're,
only about
you know,
5
at
knots.
most
Maybe
a meter, 2
degrees
meters
starboard.
thick.
Turning into it.
And
Yeah.
these
I mean,
guys
that-
are just
It done moves slow doing
huge.
turns in the past, but I mean, it's whatever they're comfortable with.
The columnar joints, extending really far, so that whatever the body is has to be at least that thick.
absolutely.
See some more of that.
Yeah,
Matte.
all kinds of
the
staining
surface, yeah.
and surface coatings that might indicate hydrothermal activity.
Survey 1, it looks like we are turning about the stern. Do you agree? Okay, good.
Let's come in quick on this guy.
Very small fish, 4 inches long.
All right, when you're ready.
Oh, don't zap his eyes.
Sponge.
Oh, look, we got another tuna for up there.
Oh my God!
We don't have a bios.
I know. Do we want to collect that?
Is it a sponge? What is this?
Is
Come
this
on
a really unusual animal and something that we see
one.
Yep, that's no problem. Thank you, Bridge.
characteristically here in this environment?
If you want to try to collect it, I certainly would vote yes for that.
Do you think it is collectible? I thought I saw earlier that these things are just kind of
Like really mushy.
yeah, like Jello.
Nav, can you check with the bridge, see if they're ready for the ship move? I think we want a course change from
Okay.
that last order.
Brian
Okay,
Bean
they're,
before
this
said it
would
would be
be
really
the
hard. He
heading
said it was
change,
really
so-
hard to collect
Even with your hand?
while he was diving.
Yeah.
Okay.
140.
Okay,
we
they
want
are
to change that 10
fantastic,
meters
though.
to
Let's get some
140.
really good video.
We have good
we
video
wanna
of that
change
as
the-
well.
the
Yeah, I
bearing
think we have
from
some really
120
good video
to 140.
before, but that's
That's
good.
correct.
Okay, thanks.
Correct.
Like loose Jello. Yes.
So again, the mouth
And,
of this thing is on the underside, so you can see that lobe that's on the left side. You can imagine it almost like one of its lips. It doesn't have lips, but just sort of imagine that, and the mouth is tucked up underneath there. And
When
those
you get ready
two
for that move,
tall
let's
lobes
change
that you
the
see extending up
bearing
to the
140,
right,
so that'll be
those are the
10
tentacle sheets,
meters,
so the
bearing
tentacles would be housed
140
in there,
at 0.1
one in each
knots.
side, and they would be sort of let out.
Good copy. Thank you, Bridge.
So I'm curious then if it nabs prey with those tentacles, presumably. Well, I don't know how it moves it down to the mouth.
Scott will tell us.
Okay, Scott.
Yeah, Tim.
If you are there, are you still there, Scott?
Oh, he's
Yes.
Well, just a little bit.
I would love to know how it actually.
here.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, how does this animal
You can come
get
out.
the food it grabs with its tentacles down into the mouth, which is underneath the lip that is closed around the rock?
I really love that guy.
I'm sorry, I'm not reading you. No, that's just a joke. I'm just kidding.
Oh,
I don't know
God.
the answer. So they can retract the tentacles. The tentacles do have some muscle, and I believe that they can be moved down towards
So
it
we're still
underside.
waiting?
But I've never actually
yes,
seen them
we're
do
still
it, so I don't know the
Yeah.
details of how those prey items that would be on the tentacles actually get to the mouth. Now these things can move
You can't
around.
come
They
down
can
anymore.
kind of creep along that what I called the
close to
lips
that
there
wall.
before.
All right, let's see
So
what
it
else
may
is
be
around
that
here.
the tentacles just sort of moved and the body moves over it. That's a possibility. I don't believe that they have cilia on the body such that they create a current like a crinoid would do
Thank you,
to
Rich.
sort of carry food
we started
particles
moving
along
to
the
the
arm.
Roger,
I
copy.
don't think it works that way. But I honestly don't know. I'll see if I can find any papers that have any information on that.
Boy, that'd be interesting if you could.
Come up a bit while we wait for the ship move. See what we find.
Well, I was about to say that this feature we're looking at looks more like a dike that I would expect to see on the flank of one of these volcanoes, but as soon as we go up a little bit shallower, it just gets broader and broader and broader. And that doesn't make any sense to me. But there's a fish. Maybe we can look at the fish and talk about something that I'm not supposed to know anything about.
Ship's not. Fish is not cooperating, unfortunately.
Okay.
That fish is
That's okay.
gone.
Something on the edge here. Might be able to get a shot from out here. Go ahead in.
But there's a red fish in the upper left. Oh, first we're going to zoom in on a crinoid. That's a crinoid of some sort. Right?
Oh yeah.
Ha!
Look at that.
Got it. Nailed it.
Is that the first one for this dive?
Anybody on shore remember if we've seen a crinoid before?
On this dive.
On this dive.
I don't think so.
Yeah. A yellow crinoid.
Chris Kelly thinks it might be the genus Antodon. Matchlid crinoid.
Well, I was going to actually take a look here. So what little I know about crinoids, you need to count their arms, number one. This guy's got 10 arms, which rules out a couple of families. And then if you can get a look at their feet, that's the other clue. So there's certain type of crinoids that have feet that are prehensile, which means they can wrap it multiple times around, 360 degrees, around like the stem of a coral. This crinoid does not appear to have the prehensile feet. He's just sort of perched right there, and I'm going to try to look up and see if Antodon actually has the prehensile or the
Roger, nav copy.
prehensile. And the feet are called cirri, by the way.
All right, when you're happy, video.
Alright, stand by.
And they sort of filamentous, well, I wouldn't say
Oh, yeah, and
filamentous,
there's
sort
some
of
more. Oh, yeah, there's a
like veil-like.
Looks like there's another black coral. Sorry for interrupting. And some hydroids, I think, also on that rock. You okay?
Right, come on out. Is that fish still there?
Yep.
Right, come on out. Is that fish still there?
Yes.
No.
So the Antodonidae, maybe just leaving it to that family, do not seem to have prehensile feet. So it could be that, but that's about the extent of my knowledge of crinoids. There are so many other parts and so many other diagnostic things that you need to know about them to really nail them down that it's way beyond me.
Oh, he's a really big version of that
Yep.
fish. Huge.
Okay, here we have another scorpion fish.
All right, when you're happy.
Okay.
Yep, looks like there's another one.
So I wonder if he had a chance, if he could take a look at some of that webbing that's on the rock. Did we get a close-up of that already?
Of the
I think
webbing?
you're going to find some brittle stars in it, but I could be mistaken.
Do you mean like underneath where the crinoid is?
Nav, where are we on that move?
We just finished.
Yeah, there's some
Roger,
there,
I
and there was
copy.
some
Yeah,
up
let's go
above
ahead
it
and
to the
repeat that.
left. But yeah, there's some right underneath. It's kind of fluttering around in
Roger,
the
that's
current there.
10 meters, 140.
Yes, I agree.
Watch Lee pilot.
Go ahead.
Yeah, do you see what he's talking about?
This stuff on the lasers? Come on, video.
Yes, yes.
Bridge ROV nav. We'd like to repeat that last move. That's 10 meters.
Chris, is that what you were
bearing
talking about?
140 degrees, 0.1 knots.
Yes, it is, but I don't see any ophiurids in there. Sometimes you see the brittle stars in this kind of webbing. So it's very curious. I don't know what creates this stuff. I don't know if it's bacterial mat or whether it's something else. You don't see this all the time just with hydrothermally active areas. So it can't just be always that.
Yeah, I guess I would vote that it's some kind of bacterial mat. What's that? What's that red? Wow. Watch Lee.
The surveying marker number.
Go ahead.
Can we take a closer look at that red coloration on that
more
rock?
video?
And then just below it, there's something hanging down from the rock.
That's the most zoom I have. I can reposition.
No, that's okay.
try to drop back down.
Roger, looks good. Yeah.
Just watch the tether on, see this poking out?
Yeah, on this little ridge here.
Yeah,
Yeah, roger that.
The same one we saw earlier.
Okay.
Do we have another ship moving?
There's something on the left.
Roger that. Yeah, they're moving
Yeah,
right now.
We have one underway. We're about halfway done with it.
Alright. I don't know what
Oh,
this is.
yeah,
It
okay.
looks like it bottoms out right
Yeah,
there.
I think it is. I think it is, Scott.
Hard to tell
Another
you.
one of these anemones, maybe. Or it's a fish.
Come on in, video.
Or it's
I love
a
it. You pretty much
sea
spanned
hare.
the animal kingdom there, Chris.
Hold that.
Could it be
something completely different?
Could it be a gastropod? Could it be a sea slug? Right, exactly. That I think we saw one earlier that we passed over. It looked different from this. It was earlier on in the dive, and it was when we first got into that kind of rust-colored bottom, and it was a much smaller one. Didn't look like this one at all. Yep, see, take a look at those. Yeah, take a look at those. They siphons tentacles up to the top. What do you think? Nudibranch.
I
She's
certainly
like
agree that it's
nudibranch,
a
yeah.
mollusk.
Yeah.
So nudibranch is a possibility. Trying to remember the group, the Sacoglossans. I don't know if they get this deep, but it's definitely in mollusca.
Yeah.
I think it's a pleurobranchid.
Good eye.
I should have
Whatever
said
this
it's a
thing is, it's
gastropoda.
massive.
Definitely a mollusca. But I like that we
Did you get the lasers
spanned
on?
4 different phyla there before we could narrow this one down.
It could have been a rock.
No.
Co-pilot, we're
Too
done with
squishy
that.
for a rock. Oh, nice.
Roger that,
Build
Nav.
some suspense. That's it.
We get punchy as the dive gets draws to a close. We're trying to throw out all kinds of possibilities. This is really nice video. Certainly have seen a lot of really
I'd be
interesting.
willing to bet this is a pleurobranchid, and it could even be in the genus Pleurobranchus. There's a few things that look kind of similar to it.
Nav, we want to make another move, another 10 meters
So
to
are these
1,
related to
1, 0.
sea hares that we see in shallow water and,
Okay,
seagrass meadows?
Let's see where that brings us.
Sure, an inch.
Wow.
I'm gonna come out and get the lasers on it.
Bridge, ROV nav.
Now when we come out, get an astonishing
We'd like another move, 10 meters, bearing 110 degrees, 0.1 knots. Good copy, thank you.
So this actually looks very, very similar to something in Hawaii that's been identified as Pleurobranchus mammillatus. And I can throw that name in there just as a suggestion, but who knows whether it'd be even close to the same species.
Well, it gives us a placeholder for sure.
Antennae.
Thank you, Bridge.
Looks like those fish were harassing.
Uh-huh.
Incidentally, since we're looking at a sea slug, there is a marvelous web resource called the Sea Slug Forum that's out there, and you can see all types of pictures of sea slugs. And if you've got a picture of one, you could submit it to the group, and they will come back with an ID for you.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good to
Pilot, we
know.
have about,
Maybe we ought to do that tonight.
Copy.
I wouldn't be a bit surprised if Tara is already on top of that.
All right.
I am completely in love with that creature.
Prop wash is cleaning off the rocks for us.
We have seen some really unusual things.
Haven't we, though?
So the invertebrates have been primarily squishy and gelatinous.
Mm-hmm.
Well, if we don't, no, I shouldn't say that because we have seen some crustaceans as well.
And
Right.
the geology has been rock hard. Ha 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 ha. Sorry, that's a really bad joke.
We are coming live to you from the NOAA ship Okeanos Explorer, which is America's ship for ocean exploration. We are just about to finish up our dive, the 5th in this leg 3 of this mission. We are at a place called the IE Seamount. It's a place where there was volcanic activity in 2014.
Right.
We were thinking we were going to see some of that.
We sure did.
Some evidence of that today. We have about 15 minutes left before the ROV will be leaving bottom. And just to remind the scientists who are part of our shore-based science crew, that we will be having our dive planning conference call
for tomorrow's dive?
For tomorrow's dive, and we'll talk on the one after
you guys
that.
Speak up, Tara.
So for Supply Reef and tomorrow, Seamount, and we'll do that as soon as the ROV leaves the bottom.
Okay.
Never mind.
So stay tuned, folks.
They come up a little bit. Take a look at this layer up here, possibly.
This zone of yellow crushed rock and white bacterial mat sure looks
Roger,
like
Nav.
there's been a lot of hydrothermal activity in there, probably over time, probably some time ago. More of these columnar joints on the right-hand side.
Yeah, but we only have 3 things total.
One pile rock. Yes.
Nav, we want to do another 10 meters, 080 degrees.
Before we leave.
10 meters at 080.
Come on in, video. Okay. Come on out.
Bridge ROV nav. We'd like another move. 10 meters, bearing 080, 0.1 knots. Good copy, thank you.
Come on in. Unfortunately, it's kind of dark.
Now that's something. Look at that reddish. Is that like iron?
Boy, I don't know, Shirley. Certainly possible, but could it be biological?
I don't know.
Any more?
Yes.
I vote iron.
Iron. One vote for iron.
The rocks are rusting.
The rocks definitely could rust if they have iron in them. I
Come
see
up
the
a little.
tail of something or a fin of something sticking out in the upper left-hand corner. There's a fish in that
It's
crack.
like a butterfly wing.
What's that? What
It's
is
a
that?
very shy fish.
What is
I think
it?
those are tentacles.
Yeah, they look like
I think those
tentacles.
are tentacles from an anemone or something.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, do you think so?
Let's see.
Ha!
Oh, no, that's full.
Oh
so
well,
it's,
I stand corrected.
Come out a little bit.
I still
Gotta
think it's
come
a
back in.
fin.
I didn't realize so far.
Scott's thinking corallimorph.
Wow.
And Chris agrees.
What is a corallimorph?
All right, come on in.
If it is a corallimorph, that's short for corallimorpharian. That's a very close relative of scleractinian
full.
corals,
That's
which are
full.
stony
Oh
corals.
man, this
Really?
is
So
so
if you
small.
think of the polyps that are on top of the skeleton of a stony coral, that's essentially what a corallimorph is. So some people have described them as stony corals without a skeleton.
Wow.
Does it look like it's bioluminescing? Or is that just the way the...
And
It might be the light.
Just,
It's trying
oh,
to
it's
hide from us.
it's hiding now.
I think it has retracted.
Yeah.
we lost the light. Come on out.
Okay.
Hold that. I'll
We
bring
are
it back
pretty
in.
big and
Dina has
terrifying
a nice
looking.
description here of naked cup coral is another way to think about a corallimorpharian.
Yep.
Okay.
Great. Thanks.
That's good because they're not colonial.
Yep.
No, those tentacles are
yeah,
still
they're
there.
there. Yeah.
Wow, it's tiny.
Nah, that's the
Is it-
best I can do.
That was pretty good. Oh, that's very cool.
What do you think, Tara? We have it?
pretty good. I mean, we don't have a stable, continuous shot, but
Yeah. I can't set up.
I
'cause
understand.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, come on up.
My image is freezing up a couple of times here, but it's freezing up perfectly so that you get a really nice image of that.
Okay, good. That hopefully then we'll be able to get some screen grabs
Go ahead.
from the video as well.
Yeah, I just gave them one a few minutes ago.
Nav, that was 10 minutes on the bottom.
Yes.
Roger that.
Well, about 8 minutes left. We'll see.
Roger.
Bill, what do you, oops, there's a fish. Bill, I have a question for you, sir. We just had a massive bunch of
Okay.
columnar joints sitting on top of what now looks like an ash flow. This is very confusing geology.
Yeah, I didn't quite catch the transition there. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, can you see it now? I know you're a little
What's
bit
left
like,
in that
you know, a
move
few
now?
seconds behind what we see here on the
we're
ship,
finished.
but
Roger that.
this
Next
these
move we want to make.
finds sure look like an ash deposit or volcanic clastics of some sort.
Yeah, or pressure or something, yeah. I don't know.
No bridge,
You know,
or at least I didn't mean to.
it's hard to decide between it being...
Yeah, Nav, we want to get another move
or
underway. 10 meters to 110.
lava flow on top of that.
Yeah, this is pretty interesting stuff.
Bridge, ROV nav. We would like another move. 10 meters, 110 degrees, 0.1 knots.
That edge of the solid core of the volcano and the classic apron.
Good copy, thank you.
Slope from here again. Okeanos are complicated because they just they fall apart a lot. They're constructed like building a sandcastle on the beach. Where the material doesn't stick together very well, and you're just piling it up, and the sides tend to fall off all the time. So there's all these generations of different episodes of construction and.
Right, there seems to be an awful lot of sector collapse, massive landslides off the flanks of some of these seamounts when you look at either bathymetry or side scan imagery of mapping of these edifices.
Is that snow coming down there from you, Josh, or is that current flood downflow?
Yeah, and all
Can you
the
tell?
active
Well, I'm
ones
going
that
up right now, but
have been
it's
studied,
pretty docile at the moment.
If they're active for very long, they almost inevitably have some kind of landslide event or multiple
And we do
landslide
have just
events
about 5 more minutes on the bottom.
Yeah, copy.
just start piling material up. Before long, part of it's gonna fail and slide down slopes. It's just the way these volcanoes grow.
Right, and there actually are quite a few earthquakes along the volcanic arc, and those would tend to undermine the stability of flanks of these things.
It's still like, even though we've reached that boundary, it's still
Survey 1 now. Yeah, can you come up here to talk about recovery a little bit? Thanks.
We just have about 4 minutes till we leave bottom. Bill, would you like to, if you're still on the line, Bill Chadwick? Looks like he may not be. If you're still on the line, okay, good. You want to give us a little wrap up?
Sure. So today's dive has been at IE Seamount, which is an active submarine volcano in the Mariana Volcanic Arc.
Okay.
So this is a relatively shallow seamount. The summit's at about 75-meter depth. Today's dive, we've been kind of between 350 and 250 meters depth near the top of this mountain. We started on a section that was mostly fragmental material that had been thrown out by the volcano, and we hopped over to near the eruptive vent where we saw a lot of
we have, what, 2 minutes?
evidence of very diffuse hydrothermal venting coming out of the sediment.
So I can come down quite a bit, Josh, and give you a little tether.
I'm just looking around.
Yeah, we'll just hold here until we come up.
Others covered with an iron, kind of a yellow iron mat, and several different kinds of animals that we associate with hydrothermal vent environments. And as we moved away from that area, then we started encountering a big, massive cliffs of either big lava flows or intruded magma that kind of form the core of the seamount. So a lot of the summit is made up of these big, massive cliffs, and then the surrounding flanks.
So we've come down another 50 meters.
The fragmental material that's been shed or erupted out of
since our high point.
So it's been interesting to see all the different kind of animals that live here. The environment, the habitat is very unstable because it's an active
Come on
volcano
in video.
that's active pretty frequently. So I think we've mostly seen mobile animals that can get out of the way, but we've seen a few animals that anchor to the bottom, and we were wondering how long they'd been there and how long the environment was stable. So it seems like we've seen a lot of variety both in the geology and the biology.
Thanks very much, Bill. Thanks for proposing this dive. It was very interesting.
Good. Well, thank you guys for
Pilot,
moving it out of sea.
it's about time.
That's a lot of work, so appreciate your effort.
Are you ready to
Ooh,
start
there's
on our way in?
another one of those crinoids.
Sure. Co-pilot, you want to stow my swing arms?
Sure. I think, yeah. Just over there. And I'm all set up.
I just need to turn to
starboard.
Starboard and
Yep.
push out.
Exactly.
So then we need to, actually, do you want to come up over this?
We'll need to come up before we start moving the ship ahead, for sure. Yeah.
Well, do we want to stay in this arrangement until we get up on top of it?
Yeah, we can do that.
Yeah.
I think that might be a different crinoid.
Then we can at least see stuff on the way up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Watch lead pilot.
Go ahead.
Yep, you guys are getting ready to come up?
Yes.
Thanks very much.
Thank you. Oh, there's something right next to this
Okay,
guy.
we get a quick zoom.
Yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
I know. What is... I know. Kind of looks like something... Oh, it's just one of those...
Oh,
like,
yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
It's a veil.
Co-pilot, remember to make sure those arms are
Something
all the way
that
stowed.
that I've seen described as a diaphanous mat.
Well, as you can verify on the Titan camera, the starboard lower swing arm is 100% fully stowed
yeah.
already.
Yep.
Nav can confirm we are 100%
Some grouper that do
stowed.
that?
Let the record be
I
shown.
don't know. Oh, parrotfish, yeah.
All right. When you're... Oh, you still stowing, or...?
Just verifying everything is good here.
Those are
Check
vertical
third
cliffs
time.
we're leaving. Wow.
So should I
Okay,
go ahead and call the
well,
bridge, or do you
No,
want
wanna
we're
thank
going to come up before we
everyone.
start
Bizarre
moving the
dive.
it was
ship.
very cool, really interesting. And yeah,
Yeah,
look
I'm
at that
holding
now
it
in the
so you're
distance
ready.
there, too.
Yep.
All right, we're ready.
Okay.
Yeah,
We can
go
start
now.
coming up.
All right. ROVs are leaving the bottom now.
Ah, look at those.
And give us just a couple minutes. Let's see.
Coming up.
It
Coming
is
up like
16 minutes after the hour.
20 meters per minute from now.
How about at
The ship facing
25
land,
minutes
or
after the hour,
are we
we
in
will
the
begin
It's-
our
it's
dive
covered?
planning call. And we
It's
can talk
facing
about
into this
Supply
slope
Reef
here.
and Chamorro
Yeah, do you want to
Seamount.
zoom out, Nav?
Sounds good.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, 25 after the hour.
Is that good? Or do you want more?
No, keep coming
A
up.
little more, yeah. We want to be able to see the top of that feature.
Got it.
So we're going into some kind of plateau there.
Yeah, just keep coming out.
Yep.